Sweden, a nation renowned for its progressive social policies and breathtaking landscapes, also harbors a rich and diverse spiritual landscape. While often perceived as a secular society, Sweden's religious history runs deep, with Lutheranism serving as the traditional cornerstone of faith for centuries. However, the contemporary spiritual scene transcends this singular narrative. Today, Sweden is home to a spectrum of beliefs encompassing various Christian denominations: Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, and other faiths. Alongside these established religions, secularism and non-belief are increasingly prevalent, reflecting a global trend towards questioning traditional religious structures. This essay aims to delve into the intricacies of Sweden's spiritual spectrum, tracing its historical roots, exploring the presence of diverse faiths, and analyzing the rise of secularism. By examining the interplay between traditional beliefs, emerging faiths, and secular thought, we can gain a deeper understanding of the evolving spiritual identity of Sweden. This exploration will shed light on the historical forces that have shaped Sweden's religious landscape, the coexistence of different faiths in a modern context, and the ongoing dialogue between belief and non-belief in Swedish society. The Lutheran Church stands as a formidable pillar in Sweden's religious history, its influence deeply embedded in the nation's cultural fabric. The Protestant Reformation, spearheaded by Martin Luther in the 16th century, swept across Europe, leaving an indelible mark on Sweden's spiritual course. In 1527, Sweden officially embraced Lutheranism as its state religion, severing ties with the Roman Catholic Church. This decisive shift ushered in a new era, shaping Sweden's religious identity for centuries to come. Lutheranism, with its emphasis on individual faith and scripture, resonated deeply with the Swedish population. The church played a central role in Swedish life, serving not only as a spiritual guide but also as a social institution, deeply intertwined with education, governance, and cultural practices. Lutheranism's enduring legacy is evident in the numerous churches that grace Sweden's cities and countryside, testaments to its historical significance. The church's teachings continue to hold sway over many Swedes, shaping their moral compass and worldview. However, the absolute dominance of Lutheranism has waned in recent times, giving way to a more diverse and nuanced religious landscape. While Lutheranism remains a significant force in Sweden, the contemporary religious scene is a vibrant tapestry woven with threads of diverse faiths. Immigration, globalization, and increasing religious tolerance have contributed to the growth of non-Lutheran Christian denominations as well as non-Christian religions, enriching Sweden's spiritual spectrum. Catholicism, once relegated to the margins of Swedish society, has witnessed a resurgence in recent decades, fueled by immigration from Catholic-majority countries. Orthodox Christianity, with its roots in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, has also found a foothold in Sweden, adding to the diversity of Christian practices. Islam, brought to Sweden by immigrants from predominantly Muslim nations, has become an increasingly visible faith, enriching the religious landscape with its mosques and cultural expressions. Buddhism, with its emphasis on mindfulness and inner peace, has attracted a growing number of Swedes seeking spiritual solace outside of traditional religious frameworks. Judaism, though a small minority, has a long history in Sweden, adding its unique traditions and perspectives to the nation's religious tapestry. These diverse faiths coexist alongside Lutheranism, fostering a spirit of interfaith dialogue and mutual understanding, enriching Sweden's social fabric and reflecting the nation's commitment to religious freedom. In tandem with the diversification of religious beliefs, Sweden has experienced a significant rise in secularism, mirroring a global trend towards questioning traditional religious authority. Secularism, characterized by a separation of religious institutions from state affairs and a decline in religious belief, has become a defining feature of Swedish society. This secularizing trend can be attributed to various factors, including the rise of scientific thought, the emphasis on individual autonomy, and a growing skepticism towards organized religion. The Swedish education system, with its focus on critical thinking and scientific inquiry, has played a pivotal role in fostering a secular worldview. Moreover, Sweden's robust social welfare system, providing comprehensive healthcare, education and social security, has diminished the reliance on religious institutions for social support. The rise of secularism has led to a decline in church attendance, a decrease in the number of Swedes identifying with a specific religion, and a growing acceptance of non-belief as a valid worldview. This secularizing trend does not necessarily equate to a rejection of spirituality. Many Swedes, while eschewing organized religion, embrace personal spirituality, seeking meaning and purpose through alternative avenues, such as mindfulness, nature, or humanist values. Section 5. Statistics, mapping the Swedish spiritual landscape. To fully grasp the complexities of Sweden's spiritual spectrum, it's crucial to examine the statistical data that maps the religious landscape. According to recent surveys, the majority of Swedes, around 60%, identify as non-religious, highlighting the prevalence of secularism in Swedish society. However, within this secular majority, there exists a spectrum of beliefs and non-beliefs, ranging from agnosticism to atheism to spiritual but not religious. Among those who identify with a religion, the Lutheran Church remains the largest denomination, comprising approximately 40% of the population. Nevertheless, this figure has steadily declined over the past few decades, reflecting the waning dominance of Lutheranism in a diversifying religious landscape. Other Christian denominations, including Catholicism, Orthodox Christianity, and various Protestant groups, account for a smaller percentage, around 5% of the population, reflecting the growing presence of non-Lutheran Christian faiths. Non-Christian religions such as Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, and others constitute a small but growing segment of the Swedish population, around 5%. This rise can be attributed to increased immigration from countries where these religions are prevalent, as well as a growing interest in alternative spiritual practices among native Swedes. These statistics underscore the dynamic and evolving nature of Sweden's spiritual landscape, marked by a decline in traditional religious affiliation, a rise in secularism, and the emergence of diverse faiths, contributing to a rich and multifaceted religious tapestry. Section 6. Catholicism, a resurgence of faith. Catholicism, once a marginalized faith in Sweden, has experienced a notable resurgence in recent decades, reshaping the religious landscape and adding a new layer to the nation's spiritual tapestry. This revival can be attributed to several factors, primarily the influx of immigrants from Catholic-majority countries, such as Poland, Lithuania, and other parts of Eastern Europe. These immigrants have brought with them their deeply held Catholic beliefs and practices, establishing vibrant Catholic communities within Sweden's urban centers and beyond. The Catholic Church has actively catered to this growing demographic, establishing new parishes, offering services in various languages, and providing social support to newly arrived immigrants. This proactive approach has contributed to the revitalization of Catholicism in Sweden, fostering a sense of belonging and spiritual nourishment for Catholic immigrants. Moreover, a small but growing number of native Swedes are converting to Catholicism, drawn to its rich history, liturgical traditions, and emphasis on social justice. This trend, though modest in scale, indicates a renewed interest in Catholicism beyond immigrant communities, further contributing to its resurgence in Swedish society. The Catholic Church's growing presence in Sweden not only diversifies the religious landscape, but also enriches the nation's cultural fabric, fostering interfaith dialogue and contributing to a more inclusive and pluralistic society. Islam, once a relatively unknown faith in Sweden, has become an increasingly visible and integral part of the nation's religious tapestry in recent decades. This growth is largely attributed to the influx of immigrants from predominantly Muslim countries, such as Syria, Iraq, Somalia, and Afghanistan, seeking refuge and a new life in Sweden. These immigrants have brought with them their Islamic faith, establishing mosques, Islamic centers, and cultural organizations, enriching Sweden's religious and cultural landscape. The presence of Islam is increasingly evident in Sweden's urban centers, with mosques becoming familiar landmarks and the call to prayer echoing through neighborhoods, adding a new dimension to the nation's soundscape. The growing Muslim community has actively engaged in Swedish society, contributing to the nation's economic, social, and cultural spheres. Islamic organizations have played a crucial role in providing support to newly arrived immigrants, facilitating their integration into Swedish society and fostering interfaith dialogue. While the integration of Islam into Swedish society has not been without its challenges, the Muslim community's presence has undeniably enriched Sweden's religious landscape, contributing to a more diverse and pluralistic society. Buddhism, a faith with roots in ancient India, has found a welcoming home in Sweden, attracting a growing number of adherents seeking spiritual solace and mindfulness in a rapidly changing world. While Buddhism has a relatively small footprint in Sweden compared to Lutheranism or other Christian denominations, its presence is notable for its appeal to both native Swedes and immigrants from Buddhist-majority countries. The attraction of Buddhism lies in its emphasis on personal transformation, mindfulness, and the pursuit of inner peace, resonating with Swedes seeking spiritual meaning outside of traditional religious frameworks. Buddhist centers and meditation groups have sprung up across Sweden, offering a sanctuary for those seeking to cultivate mindfulness, reduce stress, and explore Buddhist teachings. The growing popularity of yoga, often associated with Buddhist principles, further reflects the increasing interest in Buddhist practices. The appeal of Buddhism extends beyond individual spiritual seeking, as its teachings on compassion, non-violence, and environmental awareness align with Swedish values of social justice and sustainability. Buddhist organizations in Sweden actively engage in social causes, promoting peace, environmental protection, and interfaith dialogue, contributing to a more compassionate and harmonious society. The presence of Buddhism in Sweden underscores the nation's openness to diverse spiritual paths, enriching the religious landscape and offering a path to inner peace and social responsibility. While organized religion plays a significant role in shaping Sweden's spiritual landscape, remnants of ancient folk beliefs and practices persist, adding a layer of mystique and historical depth to the nation's beliefs. These folk traditions, deeply rooted in pre-Christian Scandinavian folklore, have survived through centuries, often intertwined with Christian practices and beliefs. Folk religion in Sweden encompasses a variety of beliefs and practices, including reverence for nature spirits, belief in magical creatures, and rituals associated with the changing seasons. These traditions often manifest in folk festivals, storytelling, and the use of traditional symbols and charms. The midsummer celebration, a cherished Swedish tradition, embodies elements of folk religion with its focus on nature's abundance, bonfires and dances, reflecting ancient rituals associated with the summer solstice. While folk religion does not represent a formalized religious system, its enduring presence in Swedish culture highlights the deep connection to ancient beliefs and practices. These traditions, passed down through generations, provide a sense of continuity with the past, enriching Sweden's cultural heritage and offering a glimpse into the spiritual world of pre-Christian Scandinavia. The echoes of folk religion in contemporary Sweden serve as a reminder of the enduring power of ancient beliefs and their ability to coexist with organized religion, contributing to a rich and multifaceted spiritual landscape. Sweden's spiritual landscape is a dynamic and multifaceted tapestry woven with threads of traditional faith, emerging beliefs, and secular thought. While Lutheranism remains a significant force, its dominance has waned in recent decades, giving way to a more diverse and nuanced religious scene. The rise of secularism, the influx of immigrants from various religious backgrounds, and a growing interest in alternative spiritualities have reshaped Sweden's spiritual identity. The presence of Catholicism, Islam, Buddhism, and other faiths alongside Lutheranism underscores Sweden's commitment to religious freedom and its embrace of diversity. The coexistence of these faiths, often engaging in interfaith dialogue and cooperation, enriches Sweden's social fabric and fosters a spirit of tolerance and understanding. The rise of secularism, while indicative of a decline in traditional religious affiliation, does not necessarily equate to a rejection of spirituality. Many Swedes, while eschewing organized religion, embrace personal spirituality, seeking meaning and purpose through alternative avenues such as mindfulness, nature, or humanist values. The enduring presence of folk religion, with its echoes of ancient beliefs and practices, adds a layer of historical depth and mystique to Sweden's spiritual identity. Sweden's evolving spiritual landscape reflects the nation's journey of transformation, embracing change, diversity, and individual choice in matters of faith and belief. This ongoing evolution promises to shape Sweden's spiritual identity for generations to come, contributing to a vibrant and ever-changing tapestry of beliefs, practices, and worldviews.